I love this place because it's so, I think it's so evocative. The fact that there's a whole area.
That was underwater at the time, right? Yes, because
The Romans must have put an awful lot of effort into this part of the world. Protecting trade routes, I don't know, keeping the Saxons out. Big effort, and for such a sort of remote place.
I was just amazed at, when I looked out to the sea, or to the Broads as they are, that it was probably all sea at one time.
Yes, dynamic sky above and serene horizontal lines below. Love it.
very mind expanding, I think. The openness here. We've got a huge horizon. I think we counted 7 windmills just now, and they're lost in this landscape. Churches, a lot of history spread out, big wide canvas.
Well, walking is relaxing anyway. This area is safe. You've got pubs around, so you haven't got to worry too much about refreshment. It's just very relaxing, gets rid of the headache, takes you back.
Well, it's an easy walk, which I think is really handy to know because it means you can really concentrate. You don't have to be watching your feet all the time. It's very accessible. There is, I think there's quite a variety of landscape.
We were here before the mudflats were covered, and we saw lots of different footprints from different birds. It's now covered in water, just ripples and reflection, but underneath there are shadowy footprints of places where the swans, geese and smaller birds have been wading and picking.
It's quite interesting when you take time to actually stop and think about what you're seeing. When you take that time out to look, it's amazing what you see. You see the wildlife, you see the trees in a different light, you see the sky, you see the clouds, colours. Quite magical, really.
So I must admit, I drive a lot through the town, and it's only when you walk that you actually realise some of the things there are, and every time I walk through town I see something I haven't seen before.
They have all these signs on the shops that show there was a cobbler's yard and there was a bakehouse, and it must have been really thriving in those smaller streets that now are turned into private houses.
There's no see old buildings and getting nice photographs of them.
Oh yeah. We got that way for about an hour. 2 days, I think. And I know I'm going to now try and do more of the Angles Way than I've done none of it up until today, so I should now certainly try and do more of it.
There's so much to see. If you've got a dog, you can bring the dog, and that's always difficult when you're on holiday. What should you do with the dog? There's something for everybody, I think, and the walking is quite easy. And you can walk a long way or you can walk a short way. I think it's just ideal for a holiday, and I just think, why haven't I been here before?
And landscape format.
You really become in tune with the season, I think, and the colour of the fields that have just been freshly cut. I think it's just really, really lovely. It's just such a feel-good factor, I think, being out in the countryside and being in the air and just, tuning in really to yourself and the world around you. This is a lovely, accessible little walk. We've got a nice little pub here at the end of it to have our coffee and scones.
I really like it because it shows how it was in the beginning and when it was all like this. How the world can be natural in places where you get all the bustle of cities. You get the natural part of the world as well.
Well, it's fantastic really, because you can see the landscapes as a whole, and then when you sort of dive on a smaller scale, you can see everything in a new light and everything as small and separately.
And a honeybee, look.
So I really like it because you can see all the detail of nature.
Making a sort of nest place, I was told.
Interesting.
I particularly like the secretive looking woods with the darkness, with the bound trees covered in ivy, with the lovely ferns and things growing off the floor.
It's got sort of images of secret people and secret places, so I think that's lovely and beautiful trees.
It's a lovely place where you can just go for lovely walks however long you want them to be, and you can just take your time and look at the natural beauty of the world.
I think that anyone who's interested in the countryside, in wildlife and in nature, they'd have a really good experience. Anyone taking their dog for a walk or just come out for a calm evening, it's a beautiful place to be.
I have to say, compared to some walking that you can do, this is very easy. And I'm looking forward to, even when I'm really crippled, still being able to do it.
Get out, away from the roads, and discover small, intimate places which you can really only access by foot.
Where we are now is very open. There's a lot of history, a few churches, that sort of thing. But there's also parts of it that are villages, go way back. So you can see how East Anglia was and the kind of people that lived there.
Oh, fabulous, really. I think if you're here for a weekend, for a day, put your trainers in the back of the car, put your walking boots in and just head out for 1 mile, 2 miles, 50 yards. There's always something to see. It's quite beautiful.